American Pickers snubs Frank Fritz on new season's premiere as fans fume late host show disrespected him. Ahead of the show's return on Wednesday night, the History Channel dedicated a night of coverage to highlights of Frank's time on the show. But when season 26 actually launched, fans were saddened to see there was no mention of him on the episode itself. Taking to Reddit, one fan wrote, "There was no dedication to Frank on the season premiere last night. I feel like they should have at least made a title card at the end or something to honor him. Total disrespect. This show was and is still dead to me," commented another. "I saw the title card on one of the Frank-centric reruns last night, but not on the new episode premiere," wrote a third. Frankie's health was initially hidden from fans, and he appeared on the first 7 episodes of season 21 before he disappeared from screens. Unbeknownst to fans, Frank was recovering from back surgery, which saw him have 185 stitches and 2 rods in his spine. Despite this, he had shared hopes of returning to the series in the future. In July 2022, he had a stroke that paralyzed the right side of his body, with a string of other health issues, including a bout of pneumonia, following shortly after. This ultimately ruled out the possibility of him ever returning to the show. His death was announced on October 1 by co-star Mike Wolfe, revealing he was by Frank's side when he died. "We've been on countless trips and shared so many miles, and I feel blessed that I was there by his side when he took one last journey home," he wrote. "I love you, buddy, and will miss you so much. I know you're in a better place." Ahead of the season 26 premiere, Wolfe took to Instagram to share his own tribute to his friend. "It has taken me a long time to figure out what I was going to say, or if I even wanted to post that we have new episodes starting tomorrow night," he wrote. The timing of this and Frank's passing is not great. However, we have been making shows without Frank for 4 years now, and we have always wanted him to be back with this crew, but he couldn't due to health issues. Every time the crew and I were in Iowa, we would go and sit by Frank's side and let him know how much he was missed, how he could never be replaced, and we will work incredibly hard on every episode to make him proud," he added. As always, since Frank has left, I dedicate this show and all the others this season in his honor. The new season premiere of American Pickers had fans buzzing, but not for reasons the showrunners might have hoped. As the episode aired, viewers noticed a glaring omission that struck a chord with longtime fans of the series. Frank Fritz, one of the original co-hosts, was nowhere to be seen or mentioned. This seemingly deliberate snub reignited a wave of frustration among fans who had grown to love Frank's down-to-earth, quirky personality during his many years on the show. Social media lit up with comments, many accusing the producers of disrespecting Frank's legacy, especially after his health struggles became public and his exit from the show was confirmed. Frank Fritz, with his sharp eye for hidden treasures and a knack for storytelling, had been a cornerstone of American Pickers since its inception in 2010. Together with Mike Wolfe, the show's other host, the duo scoured America's backroads, barns, and forgotten estates, seeking out antiques and relics that told stories of bygone eras. While Mike often served as the more polished presenter, Frank's charm lay in his relatability. His humble, no-nonsense approach made him an instant favorite, with many fans appreciating the balance he brought to the show. However, as American Pickers progressed, cracks began to show in the relationship between the two co-hosts. Rumors swirled of behind-the-scenes tension, and in 2021, after Frank took time off to recover from back surgery and address personal issues, the show moved forward without him. Fans were left in the dark as to whether Frank would ever return, and their hopes were dashed when it was announced he had been officially dropped from the series. For many viewers, Frank's absence from American Pickers had always been a sore spot, but the premiere of the new season felt like a final slap in the face. As the episode opened, Mike Wolfe, now fully entrenched as the sole lead, didn't so much as mention his former partner. There was no tribute, no acknowledgement of Frank's contributions to the show, and certainly no update on his health, which had taken a turn for the worse after suffering a debilitating stroke. Fans took to Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit to voice their displeasure. How can they just pretend Frank never existed? One viewer wrote, while another added, Frank was the heart of American Pickers. The show's lost its soul without him, and now they won't even give him the respect he deserves. The sentiment was echoed across the board, with many fans vowing to stop watching the show altogether in protest of what they saw as a gross oversight and a disrespectful treatment of someone who had played a key role in American Pickers' success. To make matters worse, the new season premiere felt almost eerily detached from the spirit of the show's earlier seasons. Without Frank's presence, some fans remarked that American Pickers now felt more like a business venture than a passion project. Mike Wolfe, always more polished and media savvy, came across as too slick for some viewers, lacking the authenticity that Frank brought to the table. The dynamic between Mike and Frank was what made the show. One longtime viewer commented, "Without Frank, it's just Mike trying to act like a big-shot businessman. The show has lost its charm." The timing of the snub only added fuel to the fire. Frank's health had been a concern for fans ever since his stroke, and many felt it was the perfect opportunity for the show to offer a gesture of goodwill or recognition. Instead, the silence spoke volumes, and not in a good way. Fans speculated that the rift between Mike and Frank must run deeper than they realized, leading to this pointed exclusion. Mike Wolfe had previously addressed the situation with Frank in interviews, though his comments often came across as lukewarm, offering little in the way of a personal reconciliation. In a 2021 statement, Mike had said, "I will miss Frank, just like all of you. I pray for the very best and all good things for him on the next part of his journey." To some, this came off as an obligatory nod, especially when followed by months of silence regarding Frank's condition and his place in the show's legacy. Viewers weren't the only ones to notice Frank's absence. Several entertainment commentators weighed in, with one TV critic noting, "American Pickers is a show built on the camaraderie and dynamic between its hosts. To erase one half of that equation is to deny the very essence of what made it popular in the first place." The premiere's failure to even acknowledge Frank Fritz is more than just an oversight. It's a deliberate choice, and it's one that's alienating the show's most loyal fan base. As the backlash continued to mount, there were calls for American Pickers to make amends. Some suggested dedicating an entire episode to Frank, chronicling his contributions to the show and his journey from the beginning to his eventual departure. Others called for Mike Wolfe to address the issue more candidly, offering a public statement that went beyond corporate platitudes and instead acknowledged the personal and professional complexities of the situation. However, there's no indication that the producers or Mike himself will heed these calls. For now, it seems that American Pickers is content to move forward without looking back, focusing instead on expanding the brand and keeping the series alive in a changing television landscape. But as ratings and viewer engagement come under scrutiny, it's worth asking whether the show can truly thrive without honoring the very people who helped build it from the ground up. In the end, the question remains, can American Pickers succeed without Frank Fritz? For many fans, the answer is a resounding no. Frank wasn't just a co-host, he was the beating heart of the show. His absence leaves a gaping hole, and the premiere's failure to acknowledge him has only widened the divide between the show and its most devoted viewers. Whether American Pickers can recover from this misstep remains to be seen, but one thing is clear. Fritz's legacy will not be forgotten by those who appreciated his passion, humor, and dedication to the hunt for America's hidden treasures.